Kayakokan! Dream Vegas!
Agito was the first Kamen Rider series with multiple riders I've ever seen. I liked it enough, but there was one thing I hated. They never, ever had the three riders team up and have a satisfying back-to-back badasses moment. Never! What a waste! Episode 25 starts with an officer asshole from the 1st Division who is being an asshole without a base to be an asshole, because saying that the SCU never brings any results after all the arrests and cases they solved is a big fat lie. The prideful Kiriko doesn't react though, she's thoughtful, Chase having disappeared on her, and Shinosuke is too. He wonders what his father, a cop himself, would have done to defend his team's honor. They have been instrumental in saving so many lives. He realizes that if he discloses his true identity to them, they could work together more closely, but Belt-san is of course against it. Even if the ordeal is putting a strain on Shinosuke, but duty calls, ironically disappeared. This one has helped a hardened criminal escape, and with the use of a neo-viral core, asks him to fuse. The process works without even any silly dances, and the result is a powerful, evolved rod build with the human mind in control. Powerful enough to get away and to require the intervention of MVP Dream Vegas to protect a bunch of cops. Chase has observed the scene too, and he seems to know exactly what just transpired in front of him. And is the only one, since not even the enforcers know nothing about the Neo-Viral Core. This new fusion evolution, which reminds me of something else, is a problem since they can't just kill the human fused with the Rodmute. Rina believes she'll be able to adjust Belt-san to only damage the Rodmute, but she'll need a sample of the body of an evolved one. The sentence makes Kiriko suddenly want to be somewhere else, while Shinosuke... Yeah, you're not hallucinating, that's Kyo and the captain playing pretend Kamen Rider in front of a meeting of detectives, who came to apologize for mocking them. Kamen Rider and the Rodmutes exist after all. Hallelujah! They're now more than willing to help in their investigation and apprehend the transformed Hajime, but the asshole superior isn't, and damn, doesn't Shinosuke have some self-control? I would have already socked him in the face! Anyway, the case is revealed to be personal. Hajime is a cop killer and was originally apprehended by his former partner, Ayase, which means that he's probably going to be his first target now that he's out. Somewhere else, Kiriko has finally managed to track Chase down, but their meeting is witnessed by Kyu, who was following her under Tomari's instructions. Fortunately, he's the only other person who personally witnessed the Rodmute's humanity, and that humanity causes Chase to actually shoot up a piece of his own body to give to Kiriko. Just in time, since the Sword Rodmute has reached the hospital and the brave Ayase has decided to give himself up to save everyone else. Tomari and Go arrive in time to intercept the monster, but since they can't hit him seriously, the situation is still dire, and even when the modified Belt-san arrives, there is still another problem. There is a crowd of people who can't get away, including the monster's target! Shinosuke would have transformed in front of everyone and reveal his identity, which, considering the alternative, is not really a choice at all. Belt-san takes a bit of convincing, but Kamen Cat is now out of the rider bag. I know, it's a bad pun, just ignore it. After a brief fight, we see something we haven't seen in weeks. Drive's Rider Kick, aka Type Speed's full throttle finisher. It successfully separates human and Rodmute, allowing Tomari to safely destroy the leader. Or not, since before number 007 explodes, another Rodmute appears to save him with the number 001? What? Wasn't that Heart's number? Well, anyway, There is something tremendously satisfying in Tomari cuffing someone while transformed. Ghost coming out as well, and that's going to have some repercussions. But for now, the first thing to do is to give the SCU a tour of the Drive Cave, of course. Also, the Captain knew all along. He calls Steinbelt Crimson. They're old friends, and he founded the SCU to give Drive an excuse to operate in the police force. And he also leaked the news about Tomari to the news as justification to how the world now knows, which is kinda weird. Tomari transformed in front of people older than the SCU. How the hell did they think they were going to keep it a secret anymore? Anyway, next episode, Tomari is of course being swarmed by the press, and the asshole from the first division still assholes, making veiled threats to Shinosuke and implying that his father may have not died a hero. Back at the SCU, we see there is a reason why the Captain made sure the whole world knew of Shinosuke. As I said many times before, it's not normal for the entire police force to ignore the existence of Rodmules for so long, after making a worldwide terrorist attack. Ergo, there is someone in the police or higher up working against them, and the reveal was a perfect move to put a stop to that. And reveal, Kiriko has of course told everyone that Chase is alive and that he helped them, which means it's time to bring the third rider back to the fold, much to Go's displeasure. But everyone else is thankful to Chase and thankful that Medic's conditioning is gone. But it's a very popular action item. Art is now aware that he survived as well, because he still has Chase's shift car from the time he defeated him! He wants Chase to come back to the winning side, and now that the mysterious number 1 has started actively supporting them, victory is certain. Also, Heart is 002 and Brain is 003, just for your information. And lastly, Heart implies that 001 has some ties to Tomari and his father, which is enough bait for Tomari to attack the Enforcer, since he refuses to tell him the full story. But battle ends abruptly when Chase intervenes, protecting Heart from the furious Tomari. Chase severely injures Drive, but even still, he saved Heart out of gratitude. He hasn't reached a real conclusion. And to his credit, Heart does something kind. He doesn't try to persuade Chase, he gives him his shift car because if he can't come back to them on his own, there is no sense in him coming back at all. Change of scene, Nira Assholes comes around to be an asshole, and not multiple assholes in one being, to the injured Tomari. Seriously, he's going like, I know where the target criminal is, and I'm not telling you, I'll risk the lives of my subordinates. Even worse, he's got a point. Shinosuke saw red and attacked Heart when Kiriko told him that sword had appeared again, even if it was about his father's death. A never solved case, it was a lapse in judgment and people got hurt because of it. Anyway, with Tomari out of commission, Go is the only driver available. Or is it? The suitcase Rina gave Kiriko is suspicious. Change of scene and they are keeping Hajime in a simple warehouse. Kick their ass at 007. The sword run mode is complete once again. Jen finds out where the place is just in time, but Tomari is still injured. Not Chase though, and his red chaser suddenly appears before him, Kiriko's suitcase strapped to its body. Back in the warehouse, Tomari's injury is so painful that it doesn't even allow him to transform. Fortunately, Go is there, fully upgraded too to separate the human and Rodmude, but facing a close-range enemy in an enclosed space when you're a long-range fighter isn't exactly ideal. Kiriko tries to help with her super shoes, fearless in her guilt for Tomari's injury, but against an evolved Rodmude, she can't do anything. She gets thrown off a rail, and Sword is prepared to impale her when... oh, you know what? Chase arrives, and the situation is almost a mirror of the two's first meeting. The Shinigami's mind is made. He will start over as a Kamen Rider, using the spear Mach belt Rina built, and his personal bike, Signal Bike, which Kiriko made her develop from his body sample. The stage is set. And I guess I won't see the Shinigami form ever again, what with it exploding in front of us. Oh well, give a round of applause and welcome Kamen Rider Chaser! Master of Kung Fu, wielder of the Back Tower of Doom, possessor of the Signalax of pedestrian safety, I guess? Or whatever, it's a giant axe! In my mind, there is no green and red lights on it. It's so awesome that an injury from that thing then allows Chase to separate human and Rodwood with his bare hands! That's metal! But even Chase's metal is powerless before Rina's designs. One green light later, the Rodwood is toast, the crook is under arrest, and the team is complete! Much to the displeasure of Go and Heart. I kind of feel sorry for the Enforcer, but that can wait. Right now, the more pressing matter is that Captain Asshole answers to someone in the freaking Japanese Ministry of Defense, Shinei Soichi, aka number 001's human identity. No wonder the Japanese police were so tightly controlled. Finally, the dream team is assembled, and I hope to God the Drive won't pull an Agito, where the three riders only fought together in the final episode, and it wasn't even that good. Please don't do that, not when finally Chase is a good guy. He's still the lone wolf for the group, of course, he's not going to be hanging out with the SCU anytime soon, but it's nice knowing they can now count on him, even if, I have to admit, I feel sorry for Heart. Yeah, he's a bad guy who only cares about advancing the Rodmudes, but it's not like an evil mastermind. He does it because he genuinely cares, just like he cared about Chase enough to let him make his own decision. These kind of villains are rare, and the actor gives a masterful performance. Now, 001, he has the making of an evil mastermind, letting everyone else work for him, preferring to stay in the shadows, masquerading as a high-ranking government official. He just needs a pussy to stroke and he's complete. Okay, that was easily misunderstood. Anyway, seems like this is the introduction of the big bad of the series. So far we know he was the first Rodmund and he's a genius scientist. Also, apparently, the death of Tomari's father is tied to 001 and the Rodmund in general. Just what transpired all those years ago. Also, now that Chase's subplot has been resolved, will Drive be able to keep up the same quality of writing? Or will it take a giant nosedive? The thing with Tomari's father is interesting, and the fact that now everyone knows that he's a rider is too. They do them right, they can ride this thing all the way to the end in high gear. Let's hope they do. So, what do you think about this episode, Rider fans? Agree with me? Disagree? Are you already planning your cosplay as Rider Chaser? Let me know in the comments or one of my social media accounts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Jane!